here to pick up my sister, so that's why I just went to the dojo in the morning. And you know Kobudo? Ever heard of Kobudo? Kobudo. Judo, karate, aikido, maybe some iaido or kyudo, but Kobudo is very rare.
So can I ask you where are you from? I mean,
Germany.
Germany, okay.
Yes.
I lived in Luxembourg, so
It's very close. Yes.
it is.
Yeah.
You live in Japan, right?
Yes, for 10 years now.
Oh wow, 10 years.
Yeah.
I lived overseas for a long time, so
Yes.
maybe you lived longer than me in Japan. Maybe.
Yeah.
I only lived about like 9 years, so.
Oh, it's pretty long already.
Yeah. So, can I ask you why you came to Japan and what do you do?
Basically for work, mainly for my wife. She's Japanese too.
Okay.
So yeah, that's basically why I came to Japan initially. Yeah.
So, can I ask you your story, how you met your wife and...
I was a student.
Okay.
And
Back in
I studied.
Germany?
Yeah, I was basically a student in Germany, studying like economics
Okay, wow.
and Japanese. So and then during that time, basically there was a 1 year study in Japan. So I went to university here. And yeah.
Oh,
so
you met...
then I came here, and then afterwards I was working basically at a company, and then through that I met her basically.
Okay. So you were working back in your country, Germany?
No, here. I
okay.
used to work here. So
Is it-
internship basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she was like she was another intern?
No, she was a friend of a colleague basically.
Oh, okay.
So that's why.
Wow.
I was introduced to her, and then.
So can I like ask you what university you study overboard here in Japan?
Here I went to Jochi, Sophia.
Oh, okay.
Jochi University in Tokyo.
My sister is a student there.
Yeah, it's a pretty good university. I like it very much.
There's a lot of foreigners, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think you were studying economics as a
Yes.
major and like a minor as like a Japanese?
I was 50-50 basically.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so it was a course specifically designed at Japanese management practices and Japanese economics.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it's unique to like. I mean, I understand like learning Japanese management is a thing, but I mean that doesn't mean that you have to learn Japanese, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of unique.
Yeah, but I mean, like, because people are supposed to go for a year to Japan, basically. So you have to speak the language, basically, because you have to work at the company for half a year. So it's basically half a year you study at university, and half a year you go to a company and work there as an intern, basically.
Wow. Okay, so it's like a whole program.
Yeah, it's a whole program. It's pretty unique, basically.
It is. It is. I mean, are those kind of programs like kind of something usual back in your country?
We do have my university already for like more than 20 years. They have this program basically. It's not only for Japan, they have it for China too.
Okay.
They have for the Arabic states, for example.
Okay,
and
wow.
It's always like a 4-year course basically. Yeah.
I mean, is there a reason why you chose that specific course?
I was initially interested in Japan, like Japanese history, martial arts.
Okay.
And then basically,
That was your
and it
way.
was also close to home, so it was, friends were already studying there, so it was pretty good, yeah.
Wow. I mean, you mentioned about Japanese history and martial arts.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, like, how do you started knowing those kind of history and martial arts?
Start with movies.
Oh, okay, movies.
Right, so movies, and then I thought, okay, well, that sounds interesting. So back in the days, there was not much on YouTube going on, right? So I did some Googling, looked up, and then you just, found those people and dojo, and then,
Okay. Did you do martial arts back in your country?
I started, yes, and I'm still doing it.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah.
So you're...
I just came, so.
Oh, you just...
Yeah, I just came. I'm here to pick up my sister, so that's why I just went to the dojo in the morning. And but her flight is delayed, so I'm waiting for her now. Yeah.
So you just which is it karate or like? Can I ask?
No, it's more older. It's one of Kobudo. Ever heard of Kobudo? Kobudo. Kobudo. So old Budo.
Oh, Kobudo. Okay.
Yes. So it's basically there are many different styles of Kobudo, and one of the styles I practice has the dojo in Kawasaki, basically.
Okay.
So I went there to practice in the morning, and then I came here and saw that the flight is delayed. So yeah.
In Japan, I mean, Kobudo is I know Kobudo, but it's not a major thing, right?
No, it's super minor.
As a foreigner, I think a lot of people know judo,
karate, aikido, maybe some iaido or kyudo, but Kobudo is very rare.
Is there a reason why you went into
Yeah, it's basically history based, right? So I like history. I like studying about history, and so that's why I got basically into it. So
I'm sorry, I don't know much about Kobudo. Yeah. I know what it is, but I don't know the style. What is the style? You have this.
We have the wooden swords. It's always basically paired kata. So you have two people practicing together. And we have the sword versus sword, sword with a staff,
Oh, okay.
sword with a halberd, so naginata, bow, naginata, yari, shuriken.
Oh, you have shuriken.
Of course, shuriken is like you do it alone. Iai, so sword drawing basically. So there's a lot of different stuff in this school basically.
Oh, okay. So that's all Kobudo.
It's all back from like 400, 500 years ago.
Okay. So you basically do everything that is old. Okay, so that's why you do shuriken.
Yeah. So it's all part of the school basically.
Okay.
But there are many across Japan. There are many different styles of Kobudo. Okay, they all have different ways of doing it, and yeah.
You did shuriken, you did naginata, you did iai. Because I think you did a lot of things. Can I ask you which one was like the hardest?
It's all pretty challenging.
Okay.
But I can't really say.
Okay.
I mean, because there are so many like different levels also. So there are always new challenges basically. But the more you practice, the more you get into it, and yeah, as long as you practice, and so it's not really like too difficult. But you have to practice. You have to continue.
So what are you doing right now at the moment? I mean, I think you do.
For work?
No, for like.
Oh, we do always everything.
Oh, so you do.
We start with like basic like the suburi.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so basic patterns, and then we start with sword, and then we do everything basically if we have time. It depends a bit how many students are in the dojo.
Oh, okay.
But usually it's like
So it's not like first you do the suburi, then in the next season.
No.
So you just do it every
time. So we start with suburi, everyone, and then afterwards like go through the whole program curriculum basically.
So every weapon, is there this kind of black belt?
Usually there are no belts.
Oh, okay.
So of course it's all based on experience and seniority, but in the past it was basically that you were given the makimono.
Oh.
So your teacher would write the makimono, what you studied, and then do the stamp hanko, and then you would get it as your certificate.
Okay. So do you have a makimono of your own?
I do have actually, yes.
Were you proud of yourself when you got it?
Yeah, of course.
Can I ask you like your feelings about how you felt when you got the makimono? I think it was a tough challenge, right?
Yeah, but it's also like a sign of trust. I got now here, and my teacher also recognizes this. So yeah, it's.
So if you get the makimono, you're allowed to teach. Is it like that?
At a certain level, yes.
Okay.
Of course, now because I'm now practicing for almost like 19 years, so of course there are some new people. Of course, we assist them as like seniors. But usually, my teacher is now 68.
Okay.
So, but he's basically the main authority. But of course, there are other senior students also helping teaching.
I don't know much about people in Germany, but from my perspective, I thought anime is a thing right now. So
Sure, it's always
So I think when you think about Japanese stereotypes or Japanese culture, I think anime comes first.
Yeah, anime, manga, food is also very popular. So a lot of new restaurants, ramen restaurants, very expensive ramen restaurants,
really?
Places,
Which place does the martial arts come when they think about Japan? Is it like a popular understanding of Japan with martial arts?
Also, yes. Of course, many people start with karate, judo, many people aikido, but I see more and more people are interested in the old style, so the kobudo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so especially in the last 10 years, I think. More and more foreigners coming to Japan.
Oh, okay.
More and more foreigners studying here and then going back to Germany, for example, and open a dojo.
So it's like since there's more people came to Japan, they knew about more. That's why it got more popular. Okay. Are you interested in opening your own dojo?
I will stay in Japan, so probably I have no chance yet.
But I mean, your sensei is 60, 80 years old?
86.
80? Wow. So is he finding someone who could?
He has two sons basically.
Oh, okay.
So one of them will take over later, and then. But that's all okay.
I mean, your wife is Japanese, right?
Yes.
And you have two children?
I have a daughter, yes.
Okay, your daughter, I guess. So you're gonna basically you're gonna stay here in Japan for
for a while.
Are you planning to go back to Germany?
Not now. Maybe only for vacation.
Okay. So is there you lived in Japan for a long time, but can I ask you one of the struggles you had in Japan?
At the beginning, language.
Language, okay.
Yes, of course.
You have
still is also still struggling. But besides that, as long as you have an open mind, and if you can also accept that Japanese culture is different from your own, I think then there's not much I find too challenging.
There's this kind of stereotype that Japanese people are like kind, polite, friendly, but at the same time very strict, like based on rules. That's someone everyone knows, right?
Yeah, of course.
But I think like in years living in Japan, do you have any like thing you thought that Japanese people have common that's not really famous, but that is something that is a fact?
No, I think the cliches or the stereotypes are pretty spot on.
Okay.
And as a German, I find it very comfortable to live here, especially when I compare it with my time in Germany, right?
Really?
So
Okay.
like, just like the trains are on time, it's clean. The people have like this basic like hospitality in mind, or like also manners, for example. So I find it quite comfortable, to be honest.
I mean, every country has a racist, but did you have any kind of race problems or like kind of felt offended from Japanese people, like in the past through your experience in Japan?
I think maybe just in the first moment I thought maybe that's just something that particular person maybe miscommunicated, or maybe it was not intention, or but usually no problem at all. I always say, if you're open-minded, if you try your best, if you also try to speak the language and just be friendly and open, then no, not really.
Okay.
Not really.
I mean, you were here from like 10 years ago, right? So do you feel any kind of like change of Japanese people's like way of thinking towards foreigners? Or is it like pretty much the same?
I think pretty much the same. I mean, right now I think Japan is a bit, again, like struggling with like tourism, and that there are many people coming into the country, and maybe like in hospitality like sector, like people are maybe just like not enough staff, for example, and everyone is a bit stressed out. But basically, personally, I can't experience anything.
I mean, I think you were raised in Germany, right? Yeah. And you're now a father raising your own child in a different country.
Right.
Isn't that hard?
Yeah, but I think it doesn't really matter where you are, as long as the kid is happy and you can, because she always, of course, gets also the influence by her mother, right?
True.
So it's like super like international kind of approach. So but it's okay.
So your daughter is like a half German.
Yes, half Japanese. Yeah,
half Japanese, right? Do you think she have any struggles as like a half?
Right now, no. No, she went to a Japanese kindergarten where there were also like half Japanese, half foreign kids. And right now she's going to an international school, which is anyway super like it's like maybe 50% Japanese and the rest completely mixed. We have kids from America, Canada, France, everywhere, right?
Great.
Korea, China. It's all super mixed up.
Do you have like any kind of like worries about her futures? I mean, kind of up because she's a half. I mean, there's no problem, but I mean, in general, you know, being someone different might be hard, right?
Well, I think Japan has to change, and Japan has to open up in that regard. And in that case, if we educate her in the right way, then I think she will not have any issues in the future. So, as long as she's open-minded and has an open personality, then that should be okay, I think.
Is she gonna start Kobudo?
Right now, she has no interest.
Okay. Would you like her to start?
Sure. Yeah, of course. But as long as she has an interest in something and really is passionate about it, then anything is okay. So as long as she's really passionate about it and want to continue, so that's okay.
Few more questions about your daughter. So, does she speak German?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, so she's studying English and Japanese right now, and if that's basically like kind of settled, if she got used to it, then I'll probably also go ahead and study German with her. Yeah.
What language does your daughter and your like parents speak?
Well, she tries to speak English, but of course, right now also because of COVID, basically it was not easy to go back. So we will try to go back this year again in summer, and then probably she has to also get used to German, basically, right?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's only she knows, but I think it's kind of unique that at the moment she doesn't have a way to communicate with her grandparents. I think it's really unique. and it might be hard, but I think it's a special experience that only she has,
Yeah.
which will be a really good thing for her in the future.
Yeah.
But I can't really image the picture. But how is it like? Is she like trying to speak?
I think she's like a mixture of like English and just trying to express herself with hands and everything and pointing, and so I'm curious also because she's 7 now, so she's still quite small. So when we go back to Germany in summer, then we have to see how that will work. Or like just like German, and then after like 2 weeks, I don't know. She can speak. You never know. You never know with
Children. They grow very fast. I mean, she's raised in Japan, but.
Yes.
Is she like a basic Japanese, or does she like kind of seem German at the same time, or like?
I think she's mixed.
Mixed, okay.
Well, she's sometimes very stubborn.
Okay.
She's sometimes very like picky about things, so they're very detailed. She likes Japanese food very much.
Okay.
So in that case, I think she's more like her mother. But I think it's just natural. The more experience she gets, the more like different things we also show her. The more experience she can gain. So
well, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
It was a great time talking to you.